the quote that I'm going to use is anonymous. I don't know who wrote it, but I think it's a really useful one to think about. It goes, "Your wound is probably not your fault, but your healing is your responsibility." So I'll read that again. Your wound is probably not your fault, but your healing is your responsibility. So the idea is this is about our relationship with the past, and maybe like difficult circumstances, maybe trauma or differing levels of things that happened in our past that were really challenging. And we can't control what happened in the past. That's already happened, right? Whatever, the past is just the past, and we cannot change it. But we can change how it impacts our present and our future. So the thing is, when we've had something really difficult happen to us, it can change the way that we operate as people, right? And so we can become different people based on our experiences. Okay, and things can be like, there can be issues that happen that are really raw, they're really real, they were difficult, and they can have a huge impact on our lives. But I've been learning about some of the research that Dr. Rick Hanson has been doing, which he wrote a book called Hardwiring Happiness. And he believes, and he has done a lot of research to show, that we can alter our present and future, right? We can change the neuro pathways in our brains, right? But we have to, it takes effort. And the way that we do this is, first of all, we've got to recognize the challenges of the past. So we have to process those experiences. We have to sit with them. We have to think about, what is it that we can learn from these experiences, right? What is it that was challenging? What happened? And really sitting with compassion and empathy and experiencing the emotions relating to that, to those experiences. And then thinking about how to change that. We can learn to cultivate a different experience. So we can learn to cultivate joy. We can learn to cultivate happiness. We can learn to cultivate peace. But it's about repetition. So we've got to keep experiencing that. And that's why yoga is so great, because we can keep finding experiences of safety where our body might feel safe, where our minds and it feels safe, right? Where we can hone our breath and we can help ourselves, teach ourselves that we can have moments of joy or peace and those kinds of things. So that's why we repeat these things a lot in yoga, where we keep working with them. And although it's a process and it's a practice, the more we can sit with them and we can work with them. And once we feel that moment of joy or that moment of peace or some experience that's positive, we sit with that. We marinate in that experience. We really notice it, and we take deeper breaths in to really experience it and let it sink in and become a part of our DNA. Right? So that's where we're going. That's what's inspiring today's class. So finding a seat, you can sit on something, a block or books or a cushion if that feels good, or just sitting on the ground. But of course our aim is to find that length through the back, really sitting up extremely tall. Our shoulders, letting them go away from the ears, bringing the shoulder blades towards each other at the back. And then closing your eyes here. And just checking in for a moment what's happening in the mind. Just checking in, noticing it. And again, what's happening in the mind is just chatter. It doesn't necessarily reflect reality. So it's partly recognizing that and noticing that it's just stories that we create. So maybe noticing those stories and letting them go. Letting go of what might have happened before class today, letting go of that past, and bringing yourself into the present moment. So in this present moment, noticing your connection with the ground, with whatever you're sitting on. Really noticing the connection between your fingers or your hands and your legs and those points of contact. Being curious about those things. Noticing any sounds around you. Any sensations in the body, if there's any aches or pains. And then bringing yourself to the breath. And I want you to work on taking in an inhale at the count of 4 and an exhale at the count of 8. So it doesn't matter how fast you are counting, it's about lengthening the exhale. And just in the process of breathing and slowing down the breath, particularly the exhale, perhaps we can feel a sense of letting go. So slowing down, letting go of what doesn't serve us, including past. And just sitting here and experiencing that. Slowing down the exhale really helps to calm the nervous system. Few more deep breaths like that. Sticking with it. And then you can come back to just breathing through the nose without the longer exhales. Just notice how your body physically feels, your emotions, your mind, just observing without any judgment. And then you can gently open up your eyes. Bring the arms, reaching them up to the top. Exhaling, bring the hands down to heart center. We're going to bring the left arm out to the side, reaching the right arm up and over, finding length through the right side. Inhale, arm reaches up and out to the side. And exhale, we're just going to tuck it between the leg and the hand. So we're twisting a little bit. Inhale, opening up. And exhale, we're just tucking and finding a little bit of a twist. Inhale, opening. Exhale. Last time. Inhale, opening through the chest. And exhale, tucking the fingers. Brilliant. Arms then reach all the way up again. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Right hand can come down. Left arm reaches out and up. Really finding length through that left side. Opening here, stretching here. And when you get to points where it feels really good in your body, just notice that feeling. Breathe into that feeling. Inhale, arm comes up, sitting up a bit more. Exhale, tucking that hand and twisting a little bit. Inhale, opening, so you're looking back at that arm a little bit. Exhaling, following your fingers with your eyes. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, twisting. One more time. Inhaling, opening. Exhaling, calming back. Removing anything you're sitting on. We're going to bring the feet up and they're quite separated here. And the knees are just going to drop over to the left. And then we can just turn the body to the back of the room. Fingertips are just tented, so you're just the tops of your fingers touching the ground. And you're just bringing the chest down towards the ground, finding a nice twist here. Inhaling, coming back through center. The knees drop the other way. Hands come behind you. Just folding down a little bit here, taking a breath. Inhaling, calming through center. Bringing the feet together. Just moving the knees up and down a little bit. Opening through the chest. So you're going to try to, you can use your hands on your legs to really help you sit up tall, open through the chest. You can inhale, bringing knees in. Exhale, pressing down, maybe bringing arms down on top, finding a little bit of a lean forward, but you might find that your lean is just short, that's fine, or just small, that's fine. Inhale, stretching those knees together. Exhaling, opening up here. Taking a couple of breaths. Excellent. Calming forward. We're just going to come in onto hands and knees here. Spreading the fingers wide. Excellent. Inhale, looking up. And exhale, rounding here. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, rounding. One more time. Inhale, coming into cow. Exhale, rounding through the back here. Calming into neutral. You're going to turn on that right knee. So the foot is going to come behind you. Left leg comes out to the side. Reaching that left fingers up to the sky. Finding length, gate pose here. Maybe looking up to the top fingers if that feels okay on your neck. Otherwise, neck to the head to the side, or you can look down at the ground. Breathing here. You might play with lifting up through that back leg. So just finding moments, again, where maybe it's challenging, but feeling like you've got resilience, or whatever the thing that you're trying to look for. Notice those moments, or those things that you're challenged with. Notice when things work for you, and focus on those moments. Leg comes back down, hand comes back down. We're switching to the other side. So this time we're just swiveling on that left knee, the foot comes behind you, right leg reaches out, arm comes up to the sky, finding length across the chest. And then that right leg lifting up to the sky. Deep breaths through the nose, always, unless instructed otherwise. Back we come into our tabletop. Right leg out behind you, finding length. Exhale, knee to nose here. And stepping that foot forward between the hands, hips press forward. We can just bring the hands up, one on top of each other, onto the knee. Shoulders relaxing here. Taking a moment. Maybe we'll take the left hand on the outside of the knee. Right hand can come onto the lower back and we can twist, or we can bring the hand back behind us. Tucking the back toes, maybe bringing that right hand down to that leg. It's quite difficult, to the foot, the heel. Left arm comes up. So not dwelling on the negative, really finding any moments to dwell on the positive, changing those neuro pathways, changing them to that you are worthy, that you can do things, that you're resilient, whatever it might be that you need. Find evidence to show those things. There's always going to be something. Inhale, arms reach back up, and coming back to heart center. Other side. So we're just going to bring the hand on the inside of the knee, left hand coming to the lower back, and we're just twisting here. And you can bring that left arm out if you like. Breathing. And then you can try and see if you can work that hand down to the heel. Right arm comes up and over maybe. So it's a bit of a twist, it's a bit of a chest opener. Inhale, arms reach back up. And exhaling, hands back to heart center. Lengthening here through that front leg. Just leaning forward. So the toes are coming up on that foot. You're finding length here. That right hip is moving back a little bit. Left hip coming forward. So the inner thighs are coming towards each other. One more deep breath here. Rebending through that front leg. Left hand is coming down to the ground. Right arm coming up. Another twist here. Reaching from the palm up to the fingertips. And then we bring that hand on the inside of the foot and we're going to switch the other direction. Hand is going to come back down. We're going to just come on the inside of that foot. You can use a block, anything that you need here. And then just playing here, so if you want, you can lift through that back knee. Or you can keep your knee down. Whatever feels good. Focusing on those breaths, noticing the positive, and marinating in those, or enhancing those moments by really focusing and breathing into them. And then we're going to drop the back knee if it's up. Move that front leg over, coming into pigeon here. So you're just going to bring the hips down, making sure that they're trying to be even with each other. So even if you're a lot higher, that's fine. You can always grab onto something to tuck under, be a cushion or whatever. And we're going to play with maybe bringing that back leg in. It may come in, it may not. You may be able to bend it, you may not. Just noticing, being patient, being kind, being compassionate, and releasing. So we're going to bring the fingertips out to the side here, coming down, right, but not coming all the way down, and just moving from side to side with your body, with your torso, just a little bit first. Just noticing how that might change the pose for you. And then bringing your arms down or your head down and just coming into reclined pigeon pose here. Deep breaths. And we keep a lot of tension in our hips, a lot of past experiences that we haven't processed. Maybe they're stuck, you know, they cause tension in the hips. So seeing if you can soften in those areas, see if you can find acceptance for the past and that they're great ways to learn and to become a stronger person. And then see if you can let them go and see if you can use the past to make the present stronger or better or more the way that you would like it. And slowly coming back up, we're going to take that right foot and just bringing it back slowly. And we can open the knees up here, just coming back into a child's pose, finding the sense of safety here, being safe in your body. You can even bring your hands together for bending the elbows and bringing the thumbs to the back of the neck. Taking a couple of breaths here. Slowly coming up. We're going to just walk the arms forward, coming into puppy dog, the chin and the chest working down towards the ground. Taking a couple of breaths here. Slowly walking yourself up, left leg coming back behind you, finding length. Exhaling, rounding here, knee towards nose, foot comes forward, pressing the hips forward, and then just slowly bringing yourself up, hands just resting on that thigh, or that just above the knee. Shoulders relax. Just noticing how your body's feeling, how your breath is doing. And then bringing the right hand on the outside of the knee, left hand can come on lower back. We're just lengthening out the arm if it feels good. Deep breaths, feeling the twist. You can tuck the back toes so that the heel is a little closer if you like. You can see if you can work the hand down towards that heel. So some days might be easier than others, and that's okay. Being kind, being compassionate, finding your pose. And you don't have to go here. You can always keep your arms up as well if this is too much or if it doesn't feel good on your body. Inhaling, arms can come back up. And then exhaling, hands to heart center. Other direction. So we're bringing the hand on the inside of the knee. The right hand can come on the lower back and twist that way if you like, or you can reach the arm forward, backwards, breathing here. That hand coming down to the heel, maybe. Left arm coming up, finding your back bend and your twist here. Checking in with all the wins that might happen during class. Even if it's just being patient or that you're just being kind to yourself. Really notice those. Inhale, calming back up. And then exhale, hands to heart center. You're going to lengthen through this front leg, toes coming up, left hip coming back, right coming forward, inner thighs coming towards each other, leaning forward. Bending through that front knee, right hand is going to come down, left reaching up to the sky. Hand coming on the inside of that foot, right arm reaching up. Right hand coming down. You can come down any way on the inside of that foot. You can always tuck the back toes, lifting through that back knee, but no need to. You can just listen to what you need. Then that knee can come down. You can slowly come up and bring the foot over to the right side, opening through the knee here. Finding your pigeon. Remember, you're trying to square those hips off. And then see if you can lift that leg at all, the back leg, up to your back foot. It may work, it may not. Just being kind, being observant. Noticing what's coming up for you if something becomes challenging. Can you sit with that? Can you understand that? Instead of being harsh on yourself. Releasing through that leg. And then maybe coming down into a reclined pigeon. We're going to first tent the fingers. And then we're going to move from side to side with the torso. Just moving, and notice how that sort of changes what's happening in the hips. And then bringing yourself down any amount into reclined pigeon. Checking in with the jaw and moving your jaw from side to side, letting out any tension that's there. Letting go of any tension in the shoulders. And letting go of any tension in the hips. Softening any areas that feel particularly tight. Deep, deep breaths. And then we're slowly going to find our way up, tucking the toes of that back foot, or whatever you need to do to get out. Just coming back into a child's pose, finding a lovely stretch here through your back. Hands can come together in front of your head, bending the elbows, thumbs coming to the back of the neck. Couple of deep breaths here. then slowly rolling yourself up. We're coming back into a tabletop here. Fingers are spreading. We're going to tuck the toes and we're going to press back into our first downward dog at the class. So you can bend your knees any amount, finding the length from your wrists all the way up to your sits bones. And let's wag the tail, so just like straightening one knee, pressing back with your hands, and then straightening the other leg. Finding a little bit of movement. Finding your down dog now. So find stillness for a moment. And it doesn't matter how it looks, you can have knees bent as much as you need to. Just finding a moment here. And then we're very carefully just going to walk the feet up towards the hands, folding down so that we're over the legs. You can bend your knees as much as you like here, just letting the head hang. You can shake your head no, you can nod your head yes. And then we're just going to work on bending the knees a lot, bringing the arms out to the sides, reaching all the way up, the hands can touch, and exhaling, bringing the hands to heart center. So we're going to come into chair pose here, and so you can bring your feet about hips width distance apart. You can then sit down, bringing the weight to the back of the heels, arms coming up. Feeling your feet pressing into the ground, maybe toes lifting. And then you can play a little bit here and just lift up through that right leg. So it's quite difficult. You're just lifting it up. And release and work the other side. And release. Sitting down just a little bit more. Interlacing fingers behind the back, opening through the chest here. And exhale, folding forward. Arms can come up, but being careful if you have shoulder issues, just going as much as feels right. Taking a breath or two here, releasing the arms. You can bend through the right knee, left hand on the ground, right arm, hang on a sec, sorry, right hand on the ground, right knee bent, left arm coming up to the sky. Taking a couple of breaths here. And then we're going to switch sides. The left hand comes down, left knee is bent, reaching up, finding twist. And then both hands coming down. You can then bend the knees a lot again, arms coming out to the side, reaching out and all the way up, a little back bend here, and exhaling, hands to the heart center. Taking a step up, right knee lifts, maybe kicking that right leg out to the front. Bending that knee, kicking that right leg back, finding your warrior 3 variation, and stepping that foot back behind you. Inhaling, you can stay here with the hands at heart center or bring your arms up, lifting through that back heel, pressing that knee towards the ground but without making it touch. Lengthening that back leg, reaching the arms forward so you're getting length, your back is lengthening from your heel to your fingertips. Finding that length, breathe. Staying in the pose for a few breaths if you can. It's challenging, but recognizing your ability to stay here. Inhale, coming up, opening up to the side, warrior two. Lengthening through that left leg, keeping a little bend in the knee, just a micro bend so you're not locking that knee out. Inhale, reach. Finding that length all the way from that back edge of the foot. And then you're opening up here, finding your triangle. So however that feels, you're trying to get alignment rather than trying to touch the ground. Taking a couple of breaths. And you can play here if you like, lifting that left arm parallel to the ground. Right arm can come over as well if you like. Working the core a bit here. Inhale. Arms both reach up to the sky. Right arm coming down, coming into a reverse triangle here. Inhale back through center. Exhale, hands to the heart. Swiveling back towards the front so the back heel lifts. Right leg stepping forward. This time we're going to move that knee out to the side. So if you've got more of an ability to open with a straight leg, that's one option too. But otherwise, just with a bent knee is all good. Bring it back to center. Hands come down. Foot comes down. Hands to heart center. Closing your eyes. Deep inhale through the nose. Deep exhale out through the mouth. Inhale nose. Exhaling mouth. One more time. Inhale through the nose. Exhaling mouth. Excellent. You can open your eyes here. Left knee is coming up, lifting it. And then you can lengthen through that foot, if that feels good. Inhaling, bend. Exhale, slowly pressing it back, finding length through your body. Trying to keep evenness in the hips. And then stepping that back foot behind you. Lifting the heel up. Arms can remain the hands can remain at the heart center or arms up in the air. And then you can bend your knees any amount. Bring the knee down towards the ground, but not touching if that's possible, or bringing it all the way down if that feels better. Taking a couple of breaths here. Notice the challenge, but notice your ability to deal with the challenge. Lengthening through that back leg and reaching forward so you're getting length from heel all the way to fingertips. Inhale, calming on up and opening into a warrior two here. Taking a breath and then lengthening through that front leg, reaching forward, getting length from that back edge of the foot all the way to the top of the head, and then just dropping the arm wherever it gets to. Other arm comes up to the sky, finding that triangle so it's as though you're between two planes of glass. So you don't want your butt to stick out. Coming up a little higher can help you get your alignment. And then maybe working with that right arm coming up, left arm coming over. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Lovely. Turning on the ball of that back foot, lifting that front foot up. And again, you can just open that leg out to the side if you like, or you can lengthen that front leg, even if it has a bend in the knee, and bring that leg out to the side. Even if you're a bit wobbly, it's all good. Just playing with where you're at. And release. Hands coming to center, closing the eyes. Excellent. Inhale through the nose. Exhaling mouth. Inhale nose. Exhaling mouth. Last time. Inhale nose. Exhaling mouth. And pausing here for a moment. You can gently open your eyes. And we're going to come down here to hands and knees for a moment again. And we're just going to bring ourselves down with the forearms down onto the ground, bringing the hips down, finding ourselves into Sphinx pose. So the fingers are wide, the elbows under shoulders, pulling the hands in towards you, just to give your chest a bit more openness here. Taking a couple of breaths. And then you're going to come all the way down onto your belly. You can bring your right ear down to the ground. So I'm just going to find a little more space. So your right ear can come down to the ground. Your arms can come down to your sides. Just pausing here for a moment. And then bringing yourself into center, arms can reach forward. And your legs and arms are going to lift and move a little bit. So you're moving your legs and your arms. And relax. Left ear coming to the ground. Arms can come back towards your feet. And just relax. The heels can just come out to the sides. Taking a few deep breaths. And then we're going to come back into center. We're going to bring the arms forward, inhaling, and exhale, reaching them back. So the legs are lifted as well. Inhale, reach forward, exhaling back. A few more like that. Two more. And this time we're going to bring the right arm underneath, across, left arm over the top. So we're making a cross with the arms. I'll show you from the front. So right arm comes across, left arm over the top. And the head, the forehead can just come down to the ground. So it's a bit unusual. You can also move your, well, let's stay like this for the moment. I'll show you in a moment. Taking a couple of breaths. So you can also move your left leg out to the side, so it's like frog pose. So it's just the knees coming out, the foot, everything's at right angles. So the knees at right angles, the ankle is at right angles, the hip is at right angles. Taking a couple of breaths here. And then you're going to unravel, so the left arm is going to come out. And the right arm can come to that leg. The left arm is coming out behind you. So you're coming into actually a spinal twist here as you open up here. Taking a couple of breaths. Maybe looking over at the left fingertips. Coming back into center, the leg can come back down. This time the left arm is coming down, the right arm is on top, so you've got like a cross with your arms, and your forehead is coming down to the ground. Taking a few breaths here. And then you're going to bring your right leg, it's not so easy, but the knee is going to come out to the side. Taking a couple of breaths here. So you've got your arms crossed, you've got your leg in half frog pose. And then you're going to move your right arm behind you. So you're opening up your arms so they're coming out each side. The left hand can come relaxed on that knee. And so you're coming into a spinal twist. You can look over the right fingertips if you like. And take a few breaths here. And then you're going to come back to center, coming back into your Sphinx pose here. Hands are pressed into the ground, elbows underneath your shoulders. I'll show you from the side. And you might just lengthen through the arms a little bit, finding length, just being gentle with your back, making sure there's no pain anywhere. Just only do this if it feels good. Excellent. Elbows coming down once more. You can tuck the toes and maybe lift up either just through the hips or through the knees and the hips. Finding a moment, just a breath here. And then the knees can come out, child's pose. Pressing back, getting length through the back, hands can tuck, thumbs can come back to the nape of the neck. And then slowly rolling yourself up. You're going to bring your butt down to the ground. We'll bring the legs out in front of us, and you can just move your knees up and down for a moment. And then you can bring your fingertips down the ground, finding length through your back, really sitting up tall here. Inhale, arms can reach up. And exhale, we're just reaching forward towards the toes, but trying to keep the back as straight as possible. So it might be that we're just sitting upright, or we might even be leaning back a little bit, or we might be able to come forward a bit, or you might have a lot of flexibility and come all the way down. It's just different for each person, so finding where that works for you. Maybe bending the knees here, coming further forward, trying to get chin towards the knees. Taking a couple of breaths here. while reaching the arms forward and up again. The right leg is going to come up. You're going to cross it over here, over the other leg. The right hand is going to be your kickstand behind you. Left is reaching up. And you're going to then twist. So you're keeping the lengthened leg, activated toes coming in towards your body. Left hand, arm, elbow pressing into the knee and helping you to twist open behind you. So you're getting length on the inhale, and as you exhale, you're finding a twist. Inhale, coming back through center, switching sides, that left foot coming over the ball of the foot or the sole of the foot on the ground. The left fingertips coming behind you, just helping you to get long. Right elbow, using it to press into the knee to help you to twist. Activating the toes on the lengthened leg. Inhale, coming back through center. Relax, the legs can come down. We're slowly going to come down onto the ground, onto the back. So just rolling down very carefully. Knees coming into the chest. You can make circles so the knees come away from each other and then towards each other. So really working the lower back, giving it a little bit of a massage here. And then you can also then change the way that the circles of your knees, so they're going the other way. Excellent. Great. And then giving yourself a really nice unconditional hug here. We're going to press the feet down to the ground. The feet are about hips width distance apart. Shoulders pressing down, just lifting up through the hips. So you're really lifting the hips up, you're pressing the hands into the ground. You can interlace the fingers if you like, it helps you to tuck your shoulders if that feels good. And then you're going to lengthen through that left leg so it's just straight out, so the knees are about even with each other. It's quite hard work, so taking a few breaths. And release. Pressing those hips back up, finding a good space to be in, even though that might have been challenging. And then working the other leg, pressing that heel out in front of you or away from you. Foot can come back down, releasing hands slowly, one vertebrae at a time, calming on down. You can bring the fingers interlaced behind your head, elbows coming out to the sides. You can widen your stance of your knees a bit and just drop the knees to the left, bringing them down towards the ground in that direction. Closing your eyes here and maybe taking 5 deep breaths here. When you're done, knees coming up to the sky and then just letting them fall the other direction. Another 5 deep breaths here. Knees coming up to the sky, giving yourself one more hug here. Having your back supporting yourself. Remember, even if you haven't done this in the past, you've got ability to change the way that things are done just through practice. Keep practicing. So the legs are going to come out to the sides or in front of you, but lengthen, toes falling to the sides, palms face up, shoulders pressing into the ground. And just scan your body briefly. You've got your eyes closed, but just mentally scan and just make sure that there's no areas of tension still in your body. And if you find any, that's okay. Just see if you can soften in those areas. And then let go of control of your breath. Just allow yourself to be here, to do nothing, to build those beautiful neural pathways of peace, of quiet, of tranquility. Finding a little bit of movement in your body. So you can wriggle your fingers, your toes. You can maybe make circles with wrists or ankles. And then reaching your arms up overhead, finding length from toes all the way to fingers. Nice stretch. And bringing knees in towards the chest, giving yourself a final hug of the clasp here. And rolling onto your right side, bringing your right arm as a pillow underneath your ear or your head if that feels comfortable. And feeling the ground there to support you. Maybe we haven't felt the feeling of safety in our lives. So really when we notice those moments when we're safe, again we're building those neural pathways, those new sensations that then can become reality. So we're pressing ourselves up into a seated pose, however that looks for you. You can be on your knees, you can cross your legs, you can come into half or full lotus. Hands coming to heart center, you really just want your back up nice and tall and straight. shoulders relaxing. And just checking in with your body, physically, emotionally, and mentally. And we're going to end the class in a similar way that we started, that we're going to lengthen the exhale. So make it twice as long as the inhale. So if it worked to do an inhale of 4 and an exhale of 8, go for it, or just work with whatever works with you. Slowing that exhale down, calming the nervous system. And then finishing off your round, bringing hands to heart center if they're not there already. Inhale, reaching the arms out to the sides and all the way up to the top, touching. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Inhale, reaching arms out to the sides and all the way up, gathering whatever it is that you need, whether it's safety, peace, calm, and bringing that in towards your heart center. And again, inhale, reaching out to the sides and all the way up, gathering whatever it is that you need to change the way that you experience and feel, and hands to the heart center. So pausing here, finding gratitude to yourself for taking time for your mind and for your body and for your neural pathways, creating those new ones. And then bringing the hands up to the third eye center between the eyebrows. Such a pleasure guiding you through your practice today. Thank you for your energy. Namaste.